Okay. So the topic of discussion today is extremely useful single line Python codes. So I just wanted to make things familiar regarding the Python programming language. And once I talk about how is the Python programming language, like what it is the Python used for, what is exactly the Python. Okay, it's just the beginner session kind of. Okay, for the people who wants to learn or who wants to know about the Python programming language and how is it as a beginner, as someone wants to start something new, they can really go with this particular session and understand the process of how the codes and everything will look in the Python. So the whatever the codes will be written in a very like 2 or 3 lines, we can also write it in a single line. That is what I'm going to talk about today. Extremely useful single line Python codes. So when I talk about the discussion, generally, I don't want to go immediately with the codes and make you all scared with the things which is happening. So I will just have a few discussion of theoretical part on the aspects of the Python and everything. So Python, as we all know, has become one of the most popular programming languages in the world in recent years, right? And and it's used in everything from machine learning to building the websites and software testing. So it can be used by the developers and the non-developers alike. Right? Both the developers and the non-developers both can use it. And Python is one of the most popular programming languages in the world, which has created created everything from Netflix's recommendation algorithm to software that controls the self-driving cars. And Python is also a general purpose language, which means that it is designed to be used in a range of applications, like including in our data science, software, and web development, automation, and generally getting stuffs done. Okay, and it is a language often used to build the websites and the softwares, right? Okay, so in detail we will see each and everything slowly. It's just a small beginner session which we are going to learn today, and in this session we will be also sharing the one liner codes that can easily learn in, like, you can easily learn within seconds. Just a one liner code, like easily execute it in within seconds, type in within seconds, and these one liner codes will save you time, make your code look cleaner and more readable also. So this is the main concept for our discussion today. So the agenda which we are going to cover today is the Python overview, and it's like a small description about its features and everything. I will just give it in bits and pieces, and extremely useful one-liner Python code that you can easily learn in less time is also what we are going to see. Python. So what is Python used for? So if I have been asking what is Python used for, so I think most of you all know, some might not know. Python was created, like it was designed, it was invented by Guido van Rossum. Okay, Guido van Rossum, and it has become one of the most popular language in the world in recent years. And it's used in like everything from the machine learning to building the websites and software testing. So it can be used by the developers and non-developers also. So this is about the Python. So now we will take a closer look at what Python is, what it can do, and how can we or you can start learning it. So what is Python? So Python is an object-oriented programming language. Okay, it is an object-oriented programming language. Why? Because the main feature of the Python is that it comes with a dynamic semantics. Okay, dynamic semantics. When it's a high level, built-in data structures is there, combined with a dynamic typing and dynamic binding. So everything in one, and they make it a perfect for rapid application development also. Because of these dynamic thing, it is making it for the rapid application development. Also, when we talk about Python, it also can be used as a scripting or glue language to connect the existing components together. Okay, those are the bit advanced level. Once you have an understanding on the Python, then you can go and search on what are those things, and you can learn more as well. And Python is a computer programming language. It is often used to build the websites and software. This is what we keep on saying, and automate the task and conduct the data analysis also. So Python is like a general purpose language, meaning why it is called as a general purpose language. So these all comes under the features we can say. Okay, why it is a general purpose language, the meaning of it, like it can be used to create a variety of different programs. Okay, variety of different programs, and it isn't specialized for any specific problems. Okay, we cannot say that Python I can do only this particular, I can solve only this, I can get only this particular solution with the help of Python programming language. No, it can be specialized for any specific problems. That is the reason it is called as a general purpose programming language. And this versatility which we are talking about, that is a general purpose programming language, along with a beginner friendliness, like anybody can start with learning the Python, has made it one of the most used programming languages out today. If you go and see outside, a survey conducted by the industry analyst from like Redmond found that it was the second most popular programming languages among the developers in 2021. And if you see now, it would have been more. Now, wherever you go outside, there is the search for a data scientist, data analyst. So when it comes to a data scientist or a data analyst, one of the main importance for a data scientist is requirement for a data scientist is he should know at least one programming language, any one programming language, either R language or Python language. But Python is most used because 60 to 70% of the industries are using the Python programming language. Python, because as it is also an interpreted language, because of the higher readability of its syntaxes, Python is known as a very simple language compared to the other computer languages. Okay, and you should also know when Guido van Rossum was creating the Python, he was just trying to read the scripts from the BBC Monty Python Flying Circus. When he was watching that series, then he thought that name was a bit mysterious and funny, and then he thought we can give the name for this for his language as a Python programming language. Okay, so this is about a small intro about the Python programming language. Oh, sorry, my bad. So now, what are the advantages of learning the Python? So now I'm just going to talk about a few advantages of learning the Python programming language. So here, if you can see the slide, it's been written like Python has a solid claim to being the fastest growing major programming language. Why? Because ease of use for any type of programmer. Okay, even a non-technical programmer can learn the Python. I can say, okay, non-technical programmer in the sense non-technical person who doesn't have. Some people will be like I haven't, I have no touch with the computer. I don't have any technical skills or anything like that. It's okay, you can start learning the Python very easily out there. So if you see, it's not only you will have to come up with a proper learning centers and learn, because nowadays too many people are doing with a lot of self studies outside. They have lots of websites and they have lots of YouTube channels where they are giving the complete understanding about the Python programming languages. So it is very ease of use for any type of a programmer, and plenty of online learning resources. Yes, which I was trying to say now, right? Which are plenty of online learning resources which is there outside, and we have our online search nowadays, and we can utilize that, and we are in a very good platform by utilizing all those online resources. And when it comes to Python, there is an open source libraries as well, and many leading companies are using the Python. So these are the reasons or the advantages of learning the Python. So ease of use for any type of a programmer. What does that mean? So it's like, as I mentioned earlier, Python is one of the easiest programming languages to learn, right? So it does not require any programming experience to start with the Python. So the reason behind this is easiness, that the Python has a very simple syntax and coding rules which are very clear to any of the users. Okay, that is the reason. And when it comes to plenty of online learning resources, here I just want to add in a point. When it comes to learning something by yourself, like a self study which you're trying to do from a very beginning, most of the time it is like a really challenging, right, to find a good learning resources. So fortunately, there is one particular documentation which is called as official Python documentation. You can just make a note of it, which is called official Python documentation. So it lets you know each and everything about a Python language, and also it also provides you a well documented tutorial which makes it easier to get started as well. So if you want to check how is Python programming language, then you can use that particular official Python documentation website and get to know the things easily, and then you can come back with the going for the courses or taking the classes or doing the self study. You can decide what you can do, because this will provide you this language. This particular official Python documentation will help you know everything about the Python language, and also provides you well documented tutorial which makes it a very easier to get started as well. Then the next one, open source libraries, another very important part, right? Why? Because there are many open source libraries in our Python which can be used to extend its functionality. Also, installing them is not a very big deal. When I want a Python, installing it is not a very big deal, because you have to run a simple command from a terminal. That's all. It's just a simple command from a terminal. Once you run that simple command from the terminal, it will be very easy for you to install that library, and you can make use of that library, right? And when it comes to the libraries, if you say like open source libraries, it is very important to know these open source libraries, as it because coming to a data science part, as I told you, the data science, it's very much important to know any one of the programming language. So what is the data science? Data science is a multidisciplinary field where it is having the connection of the different disciplines like statistics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, and NLP, natural language processing. So everything. So when that is a multidisciplinary, data science holds all those things. Why there is a need for one programming language, and that is what Python is the best, like most of the industries use, because to do all our multidisciplinary fields, to work with all our multidisciplinary fields, one programming language which is helping is the Python programming language, because it has n number of libraries. Okay, it has like hundred thousands of Python package indexes. Okay, that is going to help people to do the complete data science task in one particular platform. Okay, let it be machine learning, or we have a scikit-learn library. If you want to deal with the statistics, you have the scipy library. If you want to do with the data analysis, you have pandas library. When you want to deal with the mathematics on your numbers, then you have a numpy library. When you want to go for the data visualization, you have the libraries like matplotlib, seaborn. So these are like another a very good interactive Python library is there for data visualization, that is called as Plotly library. Okay, so these are the different open source libraries which are there, which you can just may install them with a best of a single simple command from a terminal. Just install them and you can start using those things. That is another advantage of learning the Python. And many leading companies are using Python. So Python is not just for a casual programming. Okay, it's being used by many popular leading companies, like the big companies like Google, Instagram, Spotify. They also use Python for their developments. Okay, and Python has been an important part of the Google since the beginning. when it comes to Google. Since the beginning, Python has become a very important part, like a very important part there for the Google, and it remains so till the end because the system grows and evolves. Because the Python system, it keeps on growing and it keeps on evolving. So today, dozens of Google engineers use Python. Okay, and we are also looking for more people with the skills in this particular language. That is what the Peter Novick, director of the search quality at the Google Inc., has given the statement as in a few of his documentation. Okay, so this was just a few advantages of learning the Python. And now where do we use this Python? So you should also know, as a beginner, when you start learning your Python, you should also know these basic things, so that in your future, once you have learned your Python programming language, you can try to search your sector, search your field where you can apply your knowledge of your Python according to the domain which you are expertised with. So the Python programming is a general purpose, and it is used almost in all the fields, which all domains it is being used. It is used in the data science, scientific and mathematical computing, web development, right, finance and trading, system automation and administration, computer graphics, basic game development, security and penetration testings, and general and application specific scriptings is also there, web scraping, and like mapping and geography is AGIS software. So these are all the fields where the Python programming language is being used. Not only these fields, this is just a few which I have been listed out, but there are a lot more fields which are there, which you can also explore it if you are interested by using the Google search or anything else. And the next one which I want to talk about is what can you do with the Python. First, I have told you which domains the Pythons are used, where do you use the Python, and now you're going to understand like what can you do with the Python. So some things include like I can go for data analysis and machine learning, web development, automation or scripting, software testing and prototyping, and everyday tasks which is there, which I will tell you what are those. So data analysis and machine learning. So what is this data analysis and machine learning? So I have kept it in the beginning. If you just go, if the people are from India, if you just go and search some Naukri or the any job portals, wherever you see there is a need for the data analyst or the person who is data scientist with a good machine learning algorithms, knowledge on the machine learning algorithms and everything, right? That is what the requirement is nowadays. So data analysis and machine learning is very important because Python has become like I can just say it as a staple in the data science, like allowing the data analysts and the other professionals to use this particular language so that they can conduct a very, very complex statistical calculations also. Let it be the statistical, any kind of complexness is there in the statistical calculations, we can do it. And I can create a data visualization as well in a single interface. And I can also build the machine learning algorithms, which is also a very important part, machine learning algorithms, and manipulate and analyze the data. And complete other data related tasks as well, right? When it comes to machine learning, data analysis, first analysis and machine learning, first when you want to understand your machine learning, or if you want to learn the machine learning, you should have the prerequisite of this data analysis, which is very important. Without the concept of your data analysis, how you're going to analyze your data, you cannot go for the machine learning part. Okay, as in you will have to analyze your data first by using certain libraries like pandas library, and you're going to check for any inconsistencies in the data. Okay, if there are any inconsistencies in the data, you're going to clean that data. That is nothing but you have a dirty data, you're applying your data analysis knowledge, and you're going to get a clean data. Only the clean data can be taken through the machine learning process. Okay, machine learning is something like you are going to train the machine with the old data, with the past data, so that it is going to predict the future for you. Okay, my bad, I'm sorry for this. There is a small interruption. Yes. Yeah. As I was trying to say, data analysis, like once you clean your dirty data and then you're going to train the machine, wherein the machine learning is something like you are going to train the machine in such a way the machine is going to learn from your past data, get experience from it, and then you're going to predict the future for from that model which you have been trained the machine with. And when it comes to the machine learning, another important task which you should understand as a programmer is you should know, as a programmer, you all know that our language we speak and everything we can understand as a human, but what does a machine understand? It machine understands its own language. So as a programmer we will have to learn certain programs in the code in such a way that we are going to convert all our values or whatever in design our data into a machine readable form, and then we are going to train it. So these are all the tasks you will be learning under the programming language of the Python, like data science, when you are completely taking the data science structure. Okay, data science structure. And Python can build a wide range of different data visualizations like line and the bar graphs. So as I told you, there are lots of line graphs, bar graphs, pie charts, histograms, and I also have the 3D plots. So Python also has a number of libraries that enable the coders to write the programs for the data analysis and the machine learning more quickly and very efficiently. Like I have a libraries like TensorFlow and Keras library, which is very, very useful when it comes to the artificial intelligence. Okay, so you can finish the codes, writing the codes very quickly, and also you can do it very easily as well. So that is all coming under the data science and the machine learning part. Web development. Now, what is web development? So, and what is Python related to the web development? So Python is often used to develop and develop a kind of a backend of the website or the application. So you might have used a website or an application there, like we do a lots of research on different websites, resources, and we have lots of mobile application. So backend, who has played the role? A Python has often played the role there. So the parts that the user don't see, as a user we don't see such things, these are the things which we are not seeing it, but it has been at the back end, these programmers has given their knowledge on creating that website and applications. So the Python's role in the web development, it can include like sending the data to and from the servers, okay, and processing the data and communicating with the databases. There are lots of databases, and there are lots of URL routings are there, and lots of security is there, ensuring the security. That is very important. When the backend people are working, the security is also very important. So Python offers several frameworks for the web development, like commonly used one like include like Django and Flask. And some of the web development jobs that use Python include the backend engineers, backend data engineers, like full stack engineers, Python developers, software engineers, and DevOps engineers. So you can also choose this as a career role. So it is very, very, they are very, very popular. If you go outside, there is a very most wanting for a DevOps engineer or a full stack engineers. So when you are learning Python as one of the programming languages, you can also choose your career on the track of your full stack engineers. Like it's like you cannot only stick with the data analyst or a data scientist. You can also choose your career towards the data engineers, like the backend workers. Okay, where they are like very, very playing a very, very important role in the industries out there. Okay, when it comes to a full stack engineer, he does know have the knowledge of the complete Python, or he should have the knowledge about the complete full stack. He has a no, SQL, or he has a knowledge about the PySpark. So all these things he will have the understanding about that. Those are, they are called as a data engineers, and full stack engineers, he is more good than the data engineers. Okay, and DevOps engineers are there, where he does have the knowledge about the Azure and the Amazon and the cloud and these kind of things which a DevOps engineer has a knowledge about. Okay, and You can also go search and understand about how to become a web developer or how to become a full stack engineer, so that you will know even that is one of the career if you choose Python as one of the programming languages. The next one is automation or scripting. So what is automation or scripting? So if you find yourself performing a task repeatedly, like, you would work more efficiently by automating it with Python. So the repeated task which you're trying to do, I can automate it with the help of Python. Like, writing the codes is used to build those automated process, which is called as scripting. So in the coding world, okay, nowadays in the coding world, automation can be used to check for the errors across like multiple files, convert the files, execute simple math, or remove the duplicates in the data. So these are all the things which they can do with the help of the automation and scripting. And Python can be used by relatively a beginners also to automate the simple task on a computer, such as like renaming the files I can do, finding and downloading online content, or sending emails or text at desired intervals I can perform. So these are all the things what automating and scripting holds. Software testing and prototyping. So what is software testing and prototyping? So in software development, Python can aid in tasks like build control, bug tracking, and testings. Right. So with Python, software developers can automate the testing for the new products or features. So when new products or features is happening, there is a software testing which is happening. That can also be done with the help of Python. So some Python tools are there. So using that, so Python tools like software testing can be include like one of those software tools in testing tools include green and requisitum. So these are the tools which can be used so that you can go for software testing and prototyping. What is everyday tasks? So Python isn't only for the programmers, I told you earlier, not only for the data scientists also, I told you earlier, because there are data engineers and lots of other people, web developers, a lot of other domains are also there, which where a Python is being used. So learning Python can open a new possibility for those in the less data heavy professions. Okay, less data heavy professions like journalists, small business owners, okay, small like a small and the mid-sized businesses which is running outside, or a social media marketers are there. So Python can also enable the even the non-programmers to simplify certain tasks in their lives. So here, like when I can just say how you can use these tasks to, so that you can automate with the Python, like you can keep track of the stock market or the crypto prices by using the Python. Send yourself a text reminder to carry an umbrella every time when it is raining. So these are all the things which you can, everyday tasks you can remind yourself. So update your grocery shopping list, or remaining large batches of the files which is there, or renaming, sorry, and converting the text files to the spreadsheets. So you have the text files with you, and you can convert it into a Excel workbook or a spreadsheet. So randomly assign chores for to the family members, or like fill out the online forms automatically. So these are the things which you can do in the everyday tasks also. So these are the reasons, if I put everything together with whatever I had tried to speak now. So Python is so popular for the number of reasons, right? There are lots of reasons we can say that Python is very popular. And when I go with a deeper look, what makes it so versatile and easy for the coders? Whenever you are a coder, what makes it very easy for you all? So it has a very simple syntax that mimics the natural language. That is first thing. And it's also easier to read and understand. This makes it quicker to build the projects and faster to improve on them. So I'm just giving a recap for whatever I have to. It's versatile. It's versatility. So Python can be used for many different tasks, from the web development to the machine learning. Second point. And the third point, I can say that it is beginner friendly, making it so popular for the entry level coders, right? And the fourth point, it's an open source, which means that it's free to use and distribute even for the commercial purpose also, right? And the next point, I can say it's a fifth point. So Python archive for the modules in the libraries inside it. So bundles of code and the third-party users have created to expand the Python capabilities for you, which is very vast and which is growing more. And the sixth point, Python has a large and active community. So Python community is there. So if people as a Python beginners, the freshers in the Python, I would recommend you to go and you can just use the Python community. So whenever you have any doubts with your programming, you can just put it in the Python community. They will try to help you out there. Okay, there are lots of experienced people in the Python community. You can become a member of the Python community. You can put in your questions, your queries will be solved. Okay, large active community that contributes to the Python's pool of modules and libraries and acts as a helpful resource for the other programmers. So the vast support community means if a coders run into a stumbling block, finding a solution, so it's relatively easy. Somebody is bound to have encountered the same problem before, and they might help you later when you put in the question there. Okay, so these are the few things which makes Python a very popular programming language out there. Okay, so this is all about the theoretical part which I have wanted to give you, and I wanted to show you the extremely useful single line Python codes that you can learn easily in a very less time. So here I am not going to explain it completely from up to start to last, beginning to the end. So I'm just going to show you how the code looks, and a single line code. I will show you how the multiple line code looks sometime, and the same code, how we can write it in a single line. That is what I'm going to show you. And these are the very important codes as a beginner for a data science or the Python programmers as it is. So here we are just going back to the code. I hope the screen is visible to everyone here. So if you see here, I'm just going to show you the 20 extremely useful single line Python codes, 20 single line codes. So I have just named it one by one. So for one line for loop, there are lots of for loops which has been available outside. Okay, lots of for loops which has been available. So in how I can write that for loop in a single line is what we are going to see here. So for loop in one line. So if you see, this is my list. So in that my list, so this is my list. This is a variable, and this is a list which has been there. So that is nothing but 200, 300, 400, and 500. So single line for loop. Okay, single line for loop. So before I go with one line code way, so if you see, this is a code which you go with the for loop till here, where you end up with the output of 300, 400, and 500. Okay, but if you see, I am going to write the same code where the result for x is in my list. If x is greater than 250, if these are the x values, if these x values are greater than 250, okay, only then you will have to append it, you will have to print it. So 200 is not greater than 250, so it is not going to give 200 in my output, but 300, 400, 500 are all above 250, and then that will be in my output. So this is the code, for loop code, which you're going to write it, but you can write it in a one line code way. How you can write it? I will just give it as result x, for x in my list. If x is greater than 250, print it. So this one line of code is enough instead of me going and typing these many lines of codes. Okay, and then I will get the same output here. So this is for the multiple lines, same result, and the single line which I have typed, the print, I have got the same result. Say the same thing is there in my output here, which means that the first one is for the multiple lines code, for loop code till here, and then I have the single line code here, which is this one. For this single line code, I have the output here, which is same, right? So instead of going with writing a number of lines, I can finish it in a single line. And now the second one is one line while loop. There is while loop. When the condition is going to be, until the condition is going to be true, it keeps on printing. Until the condition is going to be true, it keeps on doing the action which we are asking. So while the condition is true, colon print 1. So I will be getting infinite 1. So it keeps on printing 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 infinitely. So in single line of code, when I want an infinite 1 there. So if you have confusion here, you can see this particular multiple statements here if you see. So for x, my x is going to be 0. I am given a variable x is 0. So while x is less than 5, I'm asking to print my x, and x is equal to x plus 1. So done. I want my output to be like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there I have started with x is equal to 0. I want a print of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. So I have written the code by using the while loop in a single line. So what I told here, while condition will work until the condition becomes true. Sorry, until the condition becomes false. So if x is less than 5, print x. And then there is another condition, x is equal to x plus 1, which means first it will print 0. Then the next print loop which is going to happen is 1, which is x plus 1. So 0 plus 1 is going to be 1. Again, it will loop. Why? Because x is less than 5, right? Until my condition is false, it will keep on looping. X is less than 5. My condition is true. Still my condition is true. It is still my condition has not gone for false. So x is less than 5. It is still false. That is 1 is less than 5. And then again 1 plus 1 plus 1, 2. Again 2 is less than 5. It is true. Again 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 1, 4. And then again if it try to loop, 5 is less than 5, it reaches. So there my condition is becoming false. And then my loop stops. I have got the output of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So on that basis, while loop will work until the condition is going to be false. It keeps on looping until it reaches the proper condition to be false. And then I have the next one line if else statements here. Okay, if else statements. So if you see here, 3 examples are shown. One is with if else, simple if else. So here if you see print yes, if 8 is greater than 9, else print no. So what is going to happen? In a single line, I have used a if else. If elif else. So this is another if elif else is another condition. So E is equal to 2 and I have printed the code in a single line. You see here, print high if E is equivalent to 5, else print data studio. If E is equivalent to 2, else print low. My answer is 2. So my output is going to be data studio. My third one, just by using only if, no else and elif else. And then if 3 is greater than 2, print exactly. 3 is greater than 2, print exactly. Yes, the condition is true. 3 is greater than 2. It is going to print the word string exactly here. So for the 3 examples, if else condition, I have done it in a single line itself. And then merging the dictionaries in one line. So I have merging the dictionaries in the one line. So these are the dictionary. So how I can say these are the dictionaries? Whenever my values are there, my data values are there within the curly brackets, then it is a dictionary. With a key and a value, it is there. And if you see here, A colon 1, B colon 2, C colon 3, D colon 4, I want it to merge it. D1 and D2, I want to merge it. So either I have method 1, just D1 dot update function I will use within the parenthesis D2. This is a simple function, update function. D1, this is the first one, first table, imagine. And then dot update D2. Okay, update D2, and I have ended up with the output of this one. Either I can go with update function or I can go with where I am just giving D3 as a variable. And then within the parenthesis, I will have to give 2 asterisk D1, comma 2 asterisk D2. Then the same result will be there here also. That is nothing but when I want to combine the 2 dictionaries in a single line. Either I can go with an update function, the same print will be given here, or I can go with this particular dictionary function like asterisk D1, comma asterisk D2, 2 asterisks, and then I will end up with this particular same result. And then one line function. So there is a user defined function. I can define a function. Lots of machine learning, when they are trying to do predicting something, a user defined function is used most. So there are 2 methods here. If you see method 1, how they have tried to give define a function colon return true if x is x modulus 2, that is x divided by 2 is equivalent to 0, else false. And I'm asking for the print and the value I'm giving is 2. So 2 divided by 2, it is equivalent to 0. It's true. So my output is true here. Right? A single line. I have completed in a single line. One condition with one condition. And then method 2, I can go with using the lambda function. Lambda function is also very most used in the industries out there. So lambda x, it is a key, and this is a condition. And then if it is 2, it is going to be true. If my print is asking if my x is going to be 3, it is going to be false. I have done it in a single line. Then recursion in one line. So what is this recursion in one line? So single line recursion. So I will just use how this particular fib x return 1 if x is 1. So and so in a single line I have done. I'm just giving the values of fib 5 and then fib 15. I have got the output here. Okay, so in the same way, if I just scroll down, there is another filtering an array in one line. So how I can filter the array in one line? So arrays, okay, arrays are there, which will look in the form of a different structures, n-dimensional structures are there for arrays. How I can filter the arrays? So the normal way, how we write it in the normal way, this is my list. 2, 3, 4, 5, these are the data which is given in the list. And then in the normal way, I go with using the for loop in these many lines, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I can also use a one line method and I can use it this way to get the same print. This is a print for the normal way and this is a print for the one line method. I can use it even in this way, or I can go with the normal way. So one line method is a bit easier one compared to the normal way. Should see understand these kind of codes which is here. Okay, and exception handling in one line. So exception handling. So you should know what is exceptional handling. So we use exception handling to handle the runtime errors. Okay, runtime errors in the Python. So like you should know, like it's been asked, like did you know that we can write the try expect statement in one line by using the exec functions statement? We can do this. So original method is like try print x except print error. But in a single way, I can just use this exec statement and I can apply this. Try print x and except colon print within the parenthesis error. I'm going to get the same output for try colon except colon, and this is for the single line. The output is 15. And converting a list to a dictionary in one line. So you should know how to convert a dictionary to a list, how to convert a list to a tuple to a list when you're learning the programming languages. So how I will be converting a list to a dictionary in single line. So convert a list to a dictionary in one line using the Python enumerate function. You have the function which is called as Python enumerate function. So pass the list of enumerate and use the dictionary to convert the final output to the dictionary format. So this is my dictionary. This is a dictionary. I have list. I have my dict in the name of my dictionary. I have the list here. And then my dictionary is equal to dict enumerate my dict and print this. I'm just used the enumerate function. Dictionary, within the dictionary parenthesis enumerate function, so that the whole list here is being converted to a dictionary. Right? Dictionary will always be with the key and the value. So the next one is one line multiple variables are there. So in a single line method, I have x, y, and z. When I ask for printing the x, y, and z, 5, 7, 10, it will print out. but I want to do it in a single way. A comma B comma C, which is equal to 5 comma 7 comma 10. In a single line, instead of giving x equal to 5, y equal to 7, z equal to 10, I can go with A comma B comma C equal to 7 comma 5 comma 10. But you should always be careful. The first A should always, the value should be 5. In the sense, in your for your output, if the A is 5, the first A, when you're defining a variable, while giving the value also, it should be 5 only. B, the second is B, the second also should be for the B only. If you try to give the other way around, then wherever A is there, the first position is A, what is there here, that is only going to be in the output. So you should be careful what variable, like what value you give for A, B, and C. On that basis, your print will be given. Swapping the values in one line. Swapping is also there, most of the famous interview questions out there. So when you're going for any technical rounds in the interviews for the companies, they will just give you some numbers like this V1 comma, like V1 equal to 100, V2 equal to 200. It's like they are asking you to swap the numbers. Your V1 should be 200, V2 should be 100. Okay, either you can go with this way. Okay, temp equal to V1, V1 equal to V2, V2 equal to temp. So I have used to this particular thing. Most of the time, sorry for the disturbance in between. So if you see here, we always go with temp equal to V1, V1 equal to V2, V2 equal to temp, which is nothing but we always go with this by giving any variable here. V1, then V1 equal to V2, and then V2 equal to V1. So if you see the logic behind this is, it's just we are swapping the numbers. So my V1, if I ask for print V1 comma V2, earlier my V1 was 100, V2 was 200. Now my V1 is becoming 200 and V2 is 100. Right? One line value swapping. How can I swap the values in a single line? So that is also there. So I am just going to give V1 comma V2 equal to V2 comma V1. Simple, right? I'm just swapping the numbers. My V1 comma V2, this is a variable. V1 is 100 and 200 will be equal to V2 comma V1. So V2 comma V1. And then if I ask for print, then I will just get the output on that basis. Sorting the data. How will you sort the data in a single line? So if you see, I'm just trying to sort the data. I have this particular list and the method one, mylist.sort. And I'm asking for printing. So then it is going to give these things. Instead of that, I can go with print sorted mylist. Sorted function, print sorted mylist. And then I get the output in the same way. And reading a file in one line. How can I read the file in a single line? So reading the file in one line. So single line method. So with open data.text r as a file, data equal to file.readline, print data. So this is what we are going to use it. Print the data, hello world. Okay, print the data, hello world. I have this data.text with hello world. Okay, I have this data.text with hello world. I have stored it in my system. That's the reason it's getting the print hello world, hello Python. Okay, I have printed this one. When I want to read the same open or read the same file in a single line, I just go with data equal to line.strip function for line in the open. And then by using the for loop, it will get printed the same what you have asked for. I can go either with this one, but I can also go with a single line way. This is my single line way. One line class. So when you want to define a one line class, go with one line class. The regular way is by using these many ways. Okay, these many lines of code, number of lines of code. But if you want to get the same output, in a single line, you can go by giving this single line of code. You will get the same output A4422. whatever you have asked here, I will get it in a single line. So this is, you will going to use the collections from import named tuple module, and you're going to do it. One line semicolon is also there. So one line semicolon, like in this code snippets, like the semicolon shows you that the use of the semicolon to write the multiple lines of the code for a single line, in a single line. So this is a multiple lines. When are you going to use a semicolon? A equal to Python, semicolon. B equal to programming, semicolon. C equal to languages, semicolon. And print A, comma B, comma C. Can you see I have got the print of Python programming languages in a single line. And then one line print, it's the same way. For X, so and so, instead of writing it in this way, for loop, you can just go with print range 1,5, range 1,6. You get the complete print of your output in the range of what you want. One line map function. Mapping is also important. In simple print, within the parenthesis list, map by using the lambda function. Done. Then you end up with a map function. It's just going to map the things which is there. Delete the elements, null elements from the row, like the first row of the list. Okay, I'm going to delete the null elements from the first row. Like you can use the del method to delete the multiple elements from the list in a single line of the code. So if you see, I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So in this, I like, if you see, deleting the multiple elements from the first row of the list. So the multiple elements like 100, 300, 500 is being given in the output, and 200 and 400 is being deleted. So this is your output. You're going to delete the multiple elements from the first row of the list. One line print pattern. So you no longer need to use a for loop to print the same kind of patterns when you're dealing with the patterns. So you can use the print statements and the asterisk together to do the same thing in a single line of code. So for X is in the range of 3, print. This is a for loop. Instead of always, for whenever I want a pattern, we always go with the for loop only. But I can also do it with a single line way by using the asterisk or whatever it is, the code, comma, asterisk 3. So 3 times it will be printer, and then 2 times, and then 1 time. So the pattern has been maintained. The last 3 smiley symbols is for the single line, just for a single line. And find the primes in the range of a single line of the code. It's just you're going to write it in the form of list filter lambda function. All if A is modulus B is not equal. So this is a not equal to symbol. Exclamatory mark and equal to, not equal to 0 for B in the range 2, comma A. You're ending up with all the prime numbers here in the range of 2 to 20. Okay, so these are the few single lines code which you can use out there to understand the basic Python programming language. So this, when I try to give you the complete process and everything, you might find it a bit like you might be thinking it is like too much. But once you start practicing and once you start working on it, you will be able to crack the codes or understand the codes very easily. Okay, so this is all about the single line codes which I want to talk today, until we meet with a good topic in the next session.